Hello, every night alone. Why am I alone? Na 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 alone. I don't want this to show in my video. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Let me close the door. Wait, let me sit on all fours. Yeah, I'm wearing PJ pants. It's a Sunday. Hello everybody, hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I still don't know where to look, but it's fine. I feel like I'm just gonna look at myself because I am recording with the front camera because my back camera got messed up. Who's that? So I actually did my makeup even though the lighting is not good and you guys won't be able to see. Let me do a close-up so you guys can see. Can you see that? I'll insert pictures over here. This is how I look in the sun. But anyway guys, hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for dropping into my channel. Thank you for coming back. I see you guys are coming back and I see that you guys are viewing my videos and that makes me so happy. I really am grateful. I'm appreciative. I'm excited. It's a new leaf, it's a new journey, it's a new phase in my life. Why do I keep like, so I'm expecting my family members, some of my family members, and it's like Havati. So I was waiting for them, but it seems like they're not coming today. So I was like, okay, it's okay, let me just do my makeup because I did plan on doing my makeup today and doing a reel. These days, I don't know, like it's so fun. I enjoy doing reels. I enjoy shooting content and showing like the process, and then after that, and my reels are doing very good on Instagram. If you do want to check out my reels, my Instagram, I will leave it here. It's Motor Lifestyle, at Motor Lifestyle. Please follow me. I do all kinds of content. I do lifestyle content. I do self-care. I do self-love. I do health at times. I do beauty, makeup, you know. So you already know. Let me take a thumbnail. Okay, this is going to be a very long video and I apologize. Why is this thing so on? Okay, Abo. This is going to be a very long video and I apologize because I don't know why this thing keeps on, but it's fine. I'll act like it doesn't exist. Can I not have it on? Ooh, now I'm like working with the lighting. Okay, it's fine. I'll just act like it's not there. So if you're an iPhone user, there's this thing that you do with your iPhone whereby you fix the lighting. I think that's okay. So this is going to be a very long video. If you guys know, right now in South Africa, it is Mental Health Awareness Month. October is Mental Health Awareness Month, and it's a very sensitive topic for me. It hits home because I did say in my previous video that I would like to believe that I'm the saddest, happiest person alive. But funny enough, right now as I'm filming, I'm at a very content stage in my life. I'm at a very happy stage in my life. So I don't really think that I'm depressed anymore. So I will do a video on how I got to beat my depression and anxiety because I was a sad baby for a long time. That is a video idea for a separate video. I feel like it's very important for me to talk about the issue of mental health because for the longest time in my life, from my childhood to my high school up until now, I did battle with some mental health issues. And it's not that I never really wanted to talk about them, it's just that it's a long video. So obviously when you're filming videos like this, it's a sit down, you need to like be prepared, you need to be ready. There I am, I left my beverage. So I'm drinking Bonaqua, the strawberry flavored one. If you know me, I love flavored water. Anyway, back to the whole thing. I hope I can remember what I was saying. Okay, yes. So I never really had the space on my phone to talk about this video, and luckily something happened, right? Something happened to my phone. I forgot my passcode, and long story short, I had to go to iStore and my phone was wiped out. Luckily I had I had backed up most of my pictures on what's this thing, Dropbox and Google Drive, ne? So the only thing that I didn't upload or back up is the vlog that I took for my teaching experience. I was so upset, but that vlog was not really, it was a vlog but it wasn't a vlog. But I ate a lot. In conclusion, I ate a lot during my teaching experience. All my money went to food and I was very gutted. Like, this happened on Thursday, last week Thursday. Today is Sunday, the 3rd of October. This happened last week Thursday. I was gutted. I remember even on my way going there, I was just so sad because I knew that like my phone is going to get wiped out. But luckily, as I said, very precious memories of mine that happened this year, like my 21st birthday, my pictures with my family, I did back it up onto my Google Drive and Dropbox because I was making space for my previous video. I mean, that previous video was like almost 20 minutes. But I will divide my video into sections and I will add timestamps so that you guys actually watch the different parts of the video that I'm going to be talking about, right? So I felt very sad. I wasn't that sad, but I was sad because like everything of mine is gone. Like, I had so much content. I mean, I love shooting, I love filming. I even shot pictures of me with this perfume and with my nails because I had new nails on. I had like a nude set. That girl was like really living her life, you know. And I also bought like a body scrub. Like, I always take pictures of whatever I'm buying because I feel like you create content as you go. You can't wait until you are at a specific point in your life and then you create content. Like, create content as you go. And when you look at my social media, my Instagram specifically, you'll see that I actually create my content as I go. How did I deal with the pain that all of my things are wiped off? Simple. That day I came back home very late because I went to Bram very late. It was late when I went to Bram, guys. Like, I got to Cresta Mall at like 5. And the reason why I got to Cresta Mall at 5 is because the taxi and everything. So okay, long story short, how I actually dealt with everything and how I grieved is that I practice detachment. I feel like practicing detachment means letting go of things. You need to let go. Like, even if something painful happened to you and like your phone, maybe it cracked or your screen cracked, like, detach, let go, but feel everything. I did cry, but I didn't cry that much because I'm that type of person. When I feel like crying, I cry that moment. And if I don't feel like crying at that moment, I don't cry. So I did cry, but I didn't cry that much because I was on my way to go fix my phone. I went to bed. Okay, I came back very late, as I said, because I took a taxi from Val to Joburg. And when I came back, I ran myself a hot bubble bath. I added some lavender oil. I love lavender oil. I'm very obsessed with it. I was actually supposed to get some today, but hey, it is what it is. And I drank vanilla Kai tea. It does the things and it also smells so good. I didn't even want to journal my emotions out at that moment because I was that gutted. And then I went to bed, and when I woke up with like a very clean mindset and mentality that everything happens for a reason. By the way, that's my favorite quote. Okay, no, it's not. It's my second favorite quote. My first quote that is my favorite ever in the world, that I know that one day it's my favorite one, is the sun will rise and we will try again, stay alive. So both of those things helped me through everything. I used mantras to help me through that thing that I was going through because it was really difficult. And knowing me and how I have this problem of attachment, I was so proud of myself. So I woke up that morning and I woke up with a clean mindset. They can't even hear me and I'm shouting. I woke up with a very clean mindset and mentality that everything does happen for a reason and the sun will rise and we will try again. And I was grateful that I still have a phone, hence I'm back again. Hence I feel like you guys are going to see my content. Like, if not every week, every 2 weeks you will see my content because depression is gone, anxiety is gone, but I am talking about it in this video. So the first part, so this video is going to be divided into 4 parts, I think, and I'm going to like section it out while I'm editing. You guys are going to see. It's how I actually started to realize that I had mental health issues, and then the first one is how I found out that I have OCD. Second one is anxiety. Third one is depression. Okay, let's start. So how did I know that I am a mental health baby, that I have mental health issues. Okay, this happened when I was around primary or preschool. I just always feel very odd or out of tune with the world at times, and I would feel everything so heavily and deeply, and I'd be scared to go to school at times because I was scared of the transport. I was scared that something wrong might happen to me. These are my thoughts, but I thought that something was wrong with me because I felt like my thoughts were really, like, targeting me and everything. I've always been like a very good A, like I've been an A student, I feel like my whole life. Varsity happened and I became a D and C student, F student at some time. I'm surprised I made it to third year. Woo, it's by God's might. It's by God's mercy that I made it to third year, because I've been an A student my whole life, always went to prize giving, and school was my coping mechanism, like working hard, getting A's and everything. But there was also the side of me that I felt like I was so in tune with my thoughts. So all of this thing happened when, as I said, in preschool, I feel like it was just glimpses and pieces, whereby like I felt like my soul was just connected to everything that was happening, and I would just feel down at times and not know why am I feeling depressed. I had a very happy childhood. I was that introverted child, had books, had paints, had hobbies. I mean, I grew up alone as the only child. So vele vele, I kept myself busy all the time by reading books, by doing my homework, going to the library, all these things. And then I got to primary and I started to be scared of trucks. I remember I was in the car, no, in the taxi, and the taxi that would fetch me, they'd fetch me early in the morning, obviously as a black child or any other kind of child. But from my background, where I come from, they'd wake us up at 5 in the morning. Taxi would be here by 5:30, I think, something like that. Already you going at 5:30 to school, to Vereeniging, for example. On our commute in the car, I would get these thoughts that the car would crash down, or we would get an accident, or like I would always think these bad thoughts, and I would really feel so anxious and sad because I was scared that I would die or something would happen to me. And I remember there was this other day, I don't really remember when was it, in primary school. I started to see, like when we were in the commute, as I said, there were trucks and buses driving next to us. So I would always imagine the bus falling on top of us, and then imagine the worst case scenario, our heads become cracked and then we all die. Or I would imagine a truck falling on top of us. Like I would always imagine the most weirdest scenarios, especially when like we got to roads where we were curving, right? So that was my biggest fear. My biggest fear when I was young was dying in a very brutal way, because when I was 11 years old, one of my favorite uncles, he got so my dad's brother, yeah, he got killed very tragically, right? I'm not gonna go in depth. And that's when I understood that there's something called death in life, and people can die in a very crucial way and never come back. And I think that's the biggest thing that made me very anxious and scared of death, because I would realize that, oh, so I always had these thoughts, but I never knew why. It's because I knew that when people actually get hurt, as human beings, we get hurt, and we are scared to die. I mean, everyone is scared to die. I don't know anyone who's not afraid of dying, unless they're like really really like strong people, but we're all afraid of dying in a very like scary manner. So when I found out that he died in such a way, and my family really tried to explain it to me in a way that I understood, that bad things happen to good people, bad things happen all the time to human beings, I was heartbroken, to say the least. And that's when I learned and actually understood that people die. And I was very upset with the universe for the longest time. I was like, why do we have to die? We come to earth, and all we do in earth is we struggle, only to die. We struggle, only to die. Like, I was very upset with the universe, like, honestly. And that made me very even scared because it made me heartbroken actually when I found out that there's such a thing as death. I don't know if you guys know what I'm feeling, if you guys have experienced it. Please let me know in the comment section down below. I can't be the only one who felt very betrayed when I knew that human beings are gonna die. Like, I was so happy and not happy at life, and I was happy living, growing. I mean, I had a great childhood, but I actually like started to, whenever I knew and understood that there's death, I felt like, I'm being robbed, you know. So that's like my view and how I was introduced to death in my life. I kept on getting these thoughts. Sometimes I'd get bad dreams about my family members. They're still alive, but I would just stress about them or think about the worst thing that is happening. And that's when I found out that's anxiety. Okay, and then when I got to high school, it became worse because when I was in primary, I would go. So, go primary, there's 2 floors to schools actually, ne? And I'd always be anxious whenever I went on the stairs because I thought like I would fall over and crack my skull. Guys, I would get these thoughts from nowhere. Like, that is the thing that I never knew, that I would get these thoughts from nowhere. And then when I got to high school, yeah, I went to General Smart High School, and that high school has a lot of students and it has a lot of classes, and it has ground floor, sometimes first floor, second floor, and then another side of the school is just ground floor and second floor. So you could imagine how I felt when I was introduced to a bigger school environment and everything, and I got anxious. I remember during my grade 8 inter-highs, we went to go and sit on the grandstands. When I went to go and sit on the grandstands, I would not be comfortable sitting on the toppest part of the grandstand area because I felt like I would fall, because when you're sitting there, there's actually space like you're in between. So I would imagine the most worst thing that, and I would bring myself down and sit down there. It's only when I got to like higher grades or whenever I didn't feel as anxious that I actually got comfortable to sit on a grandstand. Imagine being afraid of sitting on a grandstand and thinking about the worst thing ever happening, or thinking about the grandstand falling, or thinking about me falling in between the grandstands and dying. I would always be so sad because I wouldn't know how to deal with those thoughts. Hence, I'm so happy right now because I know how to deal with them. They're actually gone. Like, I hardly get those thoughts. Pala, they used to be so, like, they used to bombard me to a point where I had no rest. And then we had inter-highs again, and then when I got to grade 9, we had inter-high the following year, and then we had javelin. So I think javelin is that sport where there's like a pole thingy and you throw it, right? So I would imagine the kids standing there and throwing the javelin thing, and then that thing gets here, onto the eye, onto here, and into, like, do imagine, like, can you imagine the things that I used to be thinking about? Oh, and another thing I remember, and sometimes, where I don't remember if it's high school or primary, I would go to the kitchen and see a knife and imagine myself stabbing myself with a knife. So, or just imagine myself pouring myself with hot water. And this is my background in history on what I went through, and I didn't actually know why I went through it and what it was all about, and it did scare me a lot. So I met this English teacher, Mrs. Leandres, one of my favorite teachers ever. I was an introvert when I was in grade 9. I'd sit in the classroom all the time, do my homework in my class, and I never felt like going outside because my anxiety would be a lot, and I felt sad each time I went outside. So she would ask me questions like, why do you always sit indoors, what's going on? And then one day I just opened up to her and I told her that I have these thoughts that are just, that have been bombarding me since I was young, and I gave her like examples and everything. She's like, oh my gosh, my angel, my darling, you're not alone, I also get those. And we bonded, and we had such a beautiful student and teacher relationship. And yeah, like, if it wasn't for her, I don't think I would have been knowing what was happening with me. And she told me that, no, it's okay, you don't have to stress and everything. And then around that time, that's when I actually started to realize that I actually am not straight. my sexuality now, it was just there. So I would tell her that, ma'am, I'm having these thoughts about girls and I don't know what to do. She's like, no, that's your OCD. Don't think about it. It's your thoughts. And I thought that it's my thoughts. 5 years later, I came out to my family. Yeah, by the way, I am lesbian. I am. It's so weird saying it on that channel. But you guys are gonna know either way. Like, you guys are gonna know. If you do follow me on my social media, you will know that I'm actually lesbian, because I have some LGBTQI content. I'm just quite scared of actually talking about it that much, for being out. Because, yo, South Africa, guys. Hey, me, I'm scared. But I live with God. And my coming out story is going to be a separate video. But also the issue of sexuality can also play a huge role on your mental health. So that is how I grew up. I would feel very different. I would feel like these thoughts are just bombarding me and I'm alone in these emotions, and I'd feel so depressed and sad that why do I have to die one day. I was very afraid of death for the longest time, because I'd always imagined the worst scenarios. I mean, when I went to high school and would go up the stairs, I would imagine myself falling over. So we had like this other side of the school where we had first floor, second floor, third floor. There were physics and life sciences classes there, and I would imagine myself falling by the end part. I could get the classrooms, and then it's there where the students like to like look down and see what's happening. I would imagine myself falling, and I'm so blessed that I got through high school and I'm still alive, because these thoughts would scare me to a point where I thought I would actually tip and fall over, right? Okay, so that is the background of my mental health story. That is what I went through when I was young. Now I'm going to tell you guys that each and every single mental health issue I encountered, right? So anxiety, okay. Oh, OCD. OCD is obsessive compulsive disorder. It can come in different times, in different ways in your life, ne? I don't really have a serious definition, but basically OCD can be in many ways. It can be by your thoughts, it can be with talking, like if you talk a lot and you always have OCD, or if you clean a lot and you're scared of germs. Mine, because I don't want to go through every single OCD, mine is here. It's the thoughts. My thoughts are always racing. My thoughts were always bombarding me. My thoughts were always like, so that's how okay, so I found out all these things when I started to go to therapy. I'll talk about therapy after, I'll talk about therapy when I get to my anxiety. So I knew that I had OCD, anxiety, and depression when I went to therapy, right? Because I had my lowest low when I was in grade 9. And I'll discuss that in a later video, in a later stage of the video. So I don't really know how to talk about this. Should I actually talk about, okay, let me talk about my therapy journey. Okay, I feel like it makes sense if I talk about my therapy journey, because then I can break down everything that happened. My therapy journey. I decided to go to therapy when I was 15 years old, which was grade 9, because I was not coping. I was depressed. I did well at school. I mean, I was one of the brightest students in my grade, but I was still depressed. And that is something I want to talk about in this video, is that you can be the most healthiest person, the most smiley person, fit person, but you can still be depressed, because depression is a disease. It's not a disease. It's a mental health problem that is inside. It's not outside of yourself, right? So my family didn't know that I was depressed until I hit solid bottom at some point in my life, where I was just having anxiety attacks, panic attacks. I remember when I was in grade 9, I was like resting on the couch, and whenever I closed my eyes, I felt like my body was leaving me, like my soul was leaving my body, or I was going into an out of body experience, because I would be sleeping, but I felt like I was going deeper and deeper into the darkness. And I actually had anxiety attacks and panic attacks, and I felt my chest constrict. And then there was a point where I got help by my family members. I started puking and having diarrhea at the same time. They had to take me to the bathroom. Like, I would sit on the toilet with a bucket there, and I would like have diarrhea and puke, have diarrhea and puke. So I'm very grateful that my family was there for me, because I was a lot. Like, my mental health problems were a lot. And I was suicidal at some point. I had suicidal thoughts because I was very depressed to be alive. I felt like, why should I be alive? Why should I be existing when this life thing is so hard, when we're all gonna die one day? What's the point of working hard in life? But I still maintained 70s and 80s, but I was still depressed. And then that's when my mom called I called my mom and I told her what was happening, and she arranged for me to see a psychologist. So one of the biggest things that did add to my depression was the separation of my parents when I was young. My parents separated when I was 3 years old, so I never grew up with any of them, and that made me feel sad and also depressed, and it kind of like made me feel like I was not worthy because they were like divorced, and I didn't really deal with the emotions. I didn't even know that they were separated until I got to varsity, to primary, and I learned about these things. I would see letters, and I would see when my mom filled in the letters, she'd go like separated, and I was like so sad, because you know, as a child you always want your parents to be together, when you don't know what's going on. And also I also had issues of abandonment. I had a lot of issues actually that I won't actually go in depth right now. I'll go in depth as I go along, because I don't attach myself to the issues anymore. I dealt with them. I realized that what happened in my past is not really, it doesn't affect me now. Like, I can't be crying right now but my parents being separated. Like, hey, my parents are still alive, they're here, and it's not like that kind of thing is gonna hinder me so much in life that I can't do anything and fetch my life, you know. But as a developing child, you go through those stages from 15 to 16 where you're trying to find yourself, identity, sexuality, parents, this, that, what is your space in society. Then I started going to a therapist, and she was amazing. She is amazing. I actually ghosted her because the last time I went to her I was like 18 or 19. Yeah, but she's old now, so I need like these millennial psychologists. I'm biting off a hangnail. So when I got to her, she did an evaluation, and she asked me what's going on. I told her that I'm tired. I'm always sleeping. I've lost my appetite. I either eat too much or I don't eat at all. I'm always crying. I feel like the world is ending. I never want to go outside. My phone had switched off. I was so sad. Only now my bedroom is getting good lighting. But it's okay. It's alright. I now know what time to start filming my videos. Now I know. So yeah, I told her that I don't have passion for the hobbies that I used to have, and she was like, yeah, you're depressed. And I was like, depressed? You know, when someone tells you you're depressed, you're like, depressed. Then she told me about anxiety and OCD, and that's when she explained to me why I kept on getting those thoughts. And I kind of knew about OCD because I would read blog posts when I was like in grade 8, because I had a phone by then, asking myself, am I real to have these thoughts, or is it only me who has these thoughts? And I found like websites and forums where people would talk about these things, and that's when I knew that I'm not alone, because my grade 9 teacher did encourage me to go online and check on these things. And yeah, then she told me about my anxiety and the fact that I always think about the worst things happening, and I overthink. I'll think about the weirdest things, guys. I think about the world ending and running out of food. Yo. Then 2020 was like, ciao. Okay. So, long story short, I started going to therapy, and she did other forms. She gave me forms that I had to fill in, gave me like an evaluation form, yeah. And I started to go on antidepressants, and they were schedule 5. So the schedule on your pills just shows how extreme they are, like how strong they are. So I had schedule 5. Schedule 5 is the highest. So you could imagine, I'm already 15, I'm taking antidepressants. Did they not make me sleepy? Did they not make me feel woozy? Yo, guys, I was on them for 4 months, but they helped me. They were there to balance the chemical imbalance in my brain, because my psychologist told me that the reason why I have depression is because of a chemical imbalance. And I had to deal with the OCD thoughts on my own also, but she also helped me. So when I went to her, she gave me very positive coping methods. We'd listen to calming videos. So she would also like ask me, what is my happy place? Like, where do I imagine myself the happiest? And I was like, the sea. And she'd bring me like a CD where she would record sounds of the wave. She'd make me like imagine me at the waves, there by the sea actually, and thinking about me at my happiest place. And she was like, when you're going through a lot in life, you must think of that. So after 4 months, yeah, my dad was not happy that I am on antidepressants and I'm seeing a psychologist. You know, sometimes parents have these views that we're a psychologist thing, da 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 da, you're going to a psychologist. So he was just stressed because I was becoming quite dependent on these antidepressants. So I stopped going to psychology and therapy. And when I stopped those antidepressants, I had bad withdrawals. I think I felt like puking and everything, but they didn't last for more than a week. And after that, I was back to my normal life, and I just learned how to live life, and I made it through. One thing I know about a lot of teenagers is that they do have a lot of mental health problems that they go through, and they just ride the wave, they ride it out, and they choose to have their own coping mechanisms as how to ride it out. So I eventually rode the wave until varsity, and varsity is a different story. So yeah, that is my mental health story. That's how I knew that I was different and I had OCD. The OCD did not really stop because it's something that I realized that it would just be triggered by whatever. If I stopped watching. I was never a fan of horror and violent movies. The news would also give me a lot of anxiety. I don't watch the news that much even now because sometimes I watch it and it drains me, and then I go back to that thing. But I no longer go back to a point in my life where I'm just like, now I'm heavily thinking about it, because in high school I would literally immerse myself in those anxiety, depression, and OCD emotions, you know. So I thought for the longest time that I was different, that I was crazy, that I was losing my mind, but I actually realized that I'm human, and as human beings, we are very different. We feel things. I mean, we are souls, you know. We are energies. We are energy bodies. We feel things, and we go through life, you know. And sometimes you would find that weeks would go without me having these waves of depression and staying in that depression, because I would get depressed. I mean, like, my depression would be real to a point I would just cry and not want to get out of bed. Like, I would stress my parents so much. There were so many instances in high school where they would just be so stressed about me, like, no, no, mama. But you know, I just want to let you know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. There's a rainbow at the end. You sometimes become depressed because you're not doing things that make you happy at times, or you get tired of the system, or you get burnt out, or you just feel like, I'm just depressed, you know? Guys, I'm very short. I'm watching this video, like, in Ghana. Anyway, and God helped me through everything that I've been through. Like, He actually carried me, and I'm so grateful for that. He saved me from a lot of battles. So guys, don't ever give up. Like, if you're currently going through these issues, don't give up. Seek help. Speak out. Me sharing it with you guys is a form of therapy, because looking back at where I was a few years ago, whereby I would be so consumed by these mental health issues, and looking at myself now where I've even trumped or achieved even more right now, and I've ended a lot of bad and toxic cycles right now, it makes me so happy, because I come from a very difficult mental health journey, and I felt very alone. And as much as I was performing well at school, I was doing well, I think my problem was I was not doing a lot of physical activity. I think physical activity is quite important, and yeah, I do it a lot now. I'm no longer depressed. Why should I be depressed? I'm grateful. I have a roof over my head. I have a phone. I have Wi-Fi. I'm not saying that I don't acknowledge that I do have days where I feel down, or I have moments where life happens, like as I told you, or when people hurt me, my family members, they hurt me, or I hurt people. Life will always have that friction. But at the end of the day, I've realized that I'm so grateful, and I've really stepped out of feeling depressed, because gratitude is the only way. And I took months practicing gratitude. The thing about when you practice gratitude, it rewires your brain. Like literally, you actually stop thinking about yourself as what I don't have, I'm so sad. And you start thinking about, wow, I'm so grateful to have this. I'm not the 7th billion person on this earth right now who probably lives in a cave. They don't have water or food or clothes. Like, you know, certain things like that, they really do make you feel so grateful. So that is my story. For the longest time, I was functioning with depression and anxiety, and I felt like everything was okay, but I didn't really learn how to really function with it. Hence, right now, or how to cope through the moments. Hence, right now, I did establish quite positive coping mechanisms. As I did say, I'm no longer drinking at the moment because, like, oh, siya, bopa, bopping, but I will win them. Anyway, guys, happy Mental Health Awareness Month. Please don't take your life. Please don't end your life. I know you feel like it's hard. I've been there. I've had suicidal thoughts. I've lived every day with suicidal thoughts and life-ending thoughts, and I felt like I just want to end it, but I was never strong enough to end it. I've tried, but it just wasn't successful because I was too scared to actually go ahead with it. But I've attempted it in here, you know, and a thought, it all starts with the thought. So please don't be depressed, my loves. Take care of yourself, hang in there. We are living in a very beautiful time, yes, not like in beautiful ages, whereby we are living in technological times where you can watch videos and actually learn about your depression and heal yourself. That's what I did. I watched a lot of videos on YouTube. I watched a lot of YouTubers. My favorite YouTuber is Hitomi Mochiyozuki. I hope I said it right. But her name is Hitomi. I love her so much. She is my internet best friend. Like, YouTuber internet best friend. She doesn't know, but I love her. So yeah, she has really inspired me a lot in my YouTube journey. And yeah, man, as I said, watch more videos of people that have actually conquered it. If you have any questions, I'm here. My DMs are always open. I keep on saying it. I don't bite. Like, my DMs are open. You can trust me. We can talk about this life thing. If you're going through the most right now, I'm here for you. You know, we will conquer this. Let us not be that sad generation. Let's be a happy generation. Okay, I hope I covered everything in this video, and I hope that my video made a lot of sense. As I said, let me take a thumbnail. Thank you so much for watching my video, beloveds. I love you guys so much. Sending you love and light and healing. I'll see you next time. I did say my next video I'll be talking about how I healed my depression, right? So I feel like I'll make separate videos now about OCD, depression, and anxiety, because they have different coping mechanisms for it. And also, therapy is important, guys. If there's free therapy wherever you can go. Don't be scared of going to therapy, guys. You know, sometimes we burden our friends and we want our friends to become a therapist. Go to therapy. Go seek therapy, child, so that you can be a great friend for yourself and for your friends, and so that you can show up for your family members. Bye. I'll see you guys. Bye, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Anything. Don't be scared of me, please. I'm not scary. I don't bite.